The green flag is out in Michigan. Junior mentioned that high line. Could be the preferred line. There's traction compound, the PJ1 that is up there, put down by the track. And already, here comes Eric Almirola pressuring the 22.
Rick, when we come to these big, high-speed tracks like Michigan, you can visibly see the cars are trimmed out. They're meant for speed, not great handling. The back bumpers very low to the ground. That's by choice. These crew chiefs trying to make their cars fast as Denny Hamlin squeezes up in the second position.
Riding along from Hunt Brothers Pizza, number 4 with Kevin Harvick. He tries the low line here. Little bobble there by the 11 as he was going for the lead. Denny Hamlin has to chase it up the racetrack.
Yeah, that bottom groove down in turn 1, a little bit flatter is the progressive banking going up toward the wall. Denny losing the back of the race car down there. He's got a battle on his hands now for second. The 10 car goes the inside. Martin Truex Jr.
There's that outside line working for Hamlin as we saw Eric Almirola go down low. Kelly.
And immediately for the leader, Joey Logano reporting a pretty strong vibration. Stevie says he feels like it's in the drivetrain. Just 3 laps into this, how concerning is that?
Very. My heart sinks. Michigan is one of those tracks, tremendous amount of wide open throttle time. We're talking about the 3 manufacturers just down the street. It's about bragging rights. Everybody brings their best stuff. You have to ask yourself, have they pushed it too far? Do they have a driveline issue? Only 3 laps into 156 laps race. Very concerning.
Doesn't seem to be slowing him down much, though. Denny Hamlin still about 0.3 of a second behind him. Then it's Eric Almirola. Side by side back here, you see the Napa number 9 of Chase Elliott. Right behind him, you see the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Won last week at New Hampshire. No Michigan-born driver has ever won at Michigan International Speedway. Brad Keselowski said this would be one of the bucket list items for him. Might even be bigger than if he won the Daytona 500.
What a big week for Brad Keselowski as we ride on over the Ford Performance Cam. Announced he's re-signed with Team Penske, a 1-year extension. I thought 1 year was a little odd. Junior, I'll ask you as a driver, did it surprise you? Only 1 year for Brad Keselowski.
Look at him fighting the wheel there, trying to get momentum going. That high sign beat him down the back straightaway through 1 and 2. He's still trying to get his momentum going now that he's back in the high line here. Getting a push from the 20 car of Eric Jones into turn 1. That high line is so critical. You get bottled down on the bottom. That car doesn't seem to be driving too well for Brad right now, but if you get bottled up on the bottom, you can lose a lot of spots. Marty.
Hey, Dale, jumping back to that contract, re-signing Brad Keselowski at Team Penske. He told me earlier this week, I'm glad to have it out of the way. He actually had a handshake deal with Roger Penske a couple of weeks back, so he knew, Jeremy Bullins knew, but now the whole world knows. And Steve, you know as well, when you have a driver who's maybe not signed or the situation's not clear for the next year, it's nice to have that out of the way, especially if you're a team who believes you can go make a run for the championship.
Well, no one likes contract discussions. Junior, you know, you and I never had to worry about that. We're a team together. We knew we were in it for the long haul. So were you surprised? A 1-year deal. It's good to be back, but you expect to see a longer contract for Brad.
I wasn't. Knowing Brad, I wasn't surprised because he's the kind of guy that would take that risk of doing that 1-year deal and hoping that the market improves for him going forward. So I think that he had as much to do with that as anybody.
How about right behind him, you see the 18 of Kyle Busch. Could this be the week? Well, that's a broken record. We say it over and over and over. Could this be the week that Kyle Busch shows glimpses of what we've seen out of Kyle Busch before? Because up to this point this season, we haven't seen anything like what the defending and reigning series champion normally shows us.
You know, Rick, I wasn't concerned when it was 10 races, 12 races, 15 races, but now as we close into 20, I mean, you know, you never know when the faucet's going to shut off when it comes to race wins. Jimmy Johnson, right? He won most of his career. His longest streak up until his current streak was 24 races. Now it's been 114 for Jimmy Johnson. So, Marty, we don't expect that for Kyle Busch in the 18, but I will be honest, I didn't expect them to go 20 races into this season.
Well, and I asked Adam Stevens about last week. Remember when they finished at New Hampshire last? I said, how did the team sort of react to that? He said, listen, it was disappointing because I honestly feel like we had some momentum going in the right direction. Things were starting to come our way, but our race team's not ready to go out and win a ton of races right now.
Harvick, Hamlin, Blaney, Kurt Busch, and Eric Jones, the top 5. Keselowski, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. are the top 10.
I think the newer tires will hang in there, or the tire will hang in there if the PJ1 is something the drivers can use, but they're all running under it on that older surface. I think the getting new tires, getting 4 tires to make you quick in that particular area of the racetrack, give you more grip than the guys that don't take tires. But if that PJ1 becomes a factor later in the race, the older tires can get up there and make speed. Like the 20 cars running right now can make good speed with an older tire in that higher grip surface.
And now really, Rick, it's going to be a lot of conversation about how much fuel you're going to have to take as we see the 6 of Ryan Newman right here trying to hold off Truex in the 19. Truex with that flat tires currently scored 1 lap down, not in the free pass position. So he's going to have to be kind of creative to try to find his lap.
So let's ride along the roof cam here down the front straightaway. Pretty smooth racetrack, pretty straightforward too. A lot of room, a little bit of a bump at the flag stand right there you see. Off into turn 1. Off throttle. Back in the gas real early, way before the middle of the corner. Look at the back of these cars moving around. Down the back straightaway. A little bit of bumps here toward the end of the back straightaway. The car's going to bounce just a little bit right there. Down into turn 3 again, off throttle pretty early. Back to throttle before the center. Chasing the back of the car really loose right here, all the way out to the fence. Fun racetrack with a lot of room. Nice run there, Marty.
Hey, Junior, for a Kyle Busch fan, he's sitting in 9th, but happy with his race car. Listen on the radio.
No, I think this is the closest we've ever been at the start of a race. So I think we're close. It's just, I don't know what we're going to do to fix the right front thing. I think just bad air situations made it real bad. Kind of learning my way around that.
Final lap of this stage, but Kyle Busch happy. The right front thing, he's sliding that right front. But Adam Stevens, remember what he said. We got to crawl before we walk. Good sign so far for Kyle Busch.
Sounded almost, I'll say, positive.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a little bit shocking. It wasn't the response that we heard last week where he said, it's 2020. Kevin Harvick, he might be from Bakersfield, California, but he has been the Michigan man as of late. He's going to win stage 1.
All right, good job, green checker.
And Rick, one thing pretty consistent in 2020, those 2 names at the front of the field, Harvick and Hamlin.
Wide down here with Boyer on the inside of Eric Jones into turn 1.
If he can clear Eric Jones, it's going to be good. If he can't, he's going to be stuck on that bottom.
It's going to be real bad if he doesn't clear him.
And all this momentum on the top. It's one of those moves you want to make if it works, but if it doesn't work, it can get ugly.
Wow, back there, Kyle Busch almost in the back of the 9 car. A lot of checking up the end of the back straightaway for that outside line.
Still 1 and 2. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick has moved up to 2nd. Logano back to 3rd. Excuse me, Ryan Blaney back to 3rd. Then it's Brad Keselowski and Kurt Busch.
Bubba Wallace gets loose on the inside of the 20 car of Eric Jones in the middle of the corner. Alex Bowman tries to attack as well as Chase Elliott. 3 wide into turn 3. Chase Elliott aggressive down to the bottom here. Will it stick?
Bowman gets a little momentum, able to clear him. Now we see Bubba Wallace in the 43 right on his back bumper.
Well, Chase was hoping that the 18 car would push him down that front straightaway. He's going to dive the inside now. Kyle Busch to the inside of Chase. Battle for the lead up front.
Ryan Blaney makes it easy as Blaney goes by Denny Hamlin. Now Harvick looking to the inside. And Hamlin now drops all the way to third, maybe to fourth if Kurt Busch can get by him.
Man, just like that. Denny Hamlin, the leader, battling for fourth place off of turn 4 now.
Keselowski trying to get by him on the inside. Ryan Blaney played a little strategy, came in right before the competition caution, got 4 fresh tires, stayed out at the competition caution, then was able to get all the way up to third at the end of the stage, and now has battled his way to the lead at Michigan.
That set of corners right there. Ryan Blaney drove in and just pulled it right to the bottom and drove away from the 4. There you go.
See, it just had such a huge run down the front straightaway because of the draft. And Denny goes to the inside and allows the 12 to get to the outside there. And that just doesn't allow Denny taking that inside, doesn't allow him to keep that momentum and lose a couple more spots because of that. Now he's back up to speed and trying to fight back to get those those few positions back side by side for second.
Busch, strong move into 1. Almost had Kevin Harvick clear, but doesn't clear him. Now he's got to try to jump in behind him to keep the 11 car from getting on the outside.
The 12 car trying to break the draft down the back straightaway, something we typically see at the super speedways like Talladega and Daytona, but you saw the draft be a factor in how Denny Hamlin lost the lead. So those guys are going to try to break the draft down the straightaway if you're out front. Moving around, don't allow them to follow you down the straightaway.
Side-by-side battle right there will allow Eric Jones and that yellow car behind him to get a big toe down the front straightaway. Going to try to make it 3 wide on the outside.
He's actually been in that PJ1 a lot already today, so he knows what the grip level is like up there and can commit and make that pass.
That pass started all the way back in the middle of 3 and 4 when Keselowski was underneath Hamlin. That slowed both of them down, created a big wake that the 20 car was able to get into, get a big draft down the front straightaway, jump on the outside of them.
And again, Eric Jones, the question mark will be, where does he end up in 2021? The announcement made earlier this week that he would no longer be with Joe Gibbs Racing. Kevin Harvick trying the high line here, trying any way he can to get around that 12 of Ryan Blaney for the lead.
He's got something right here. He's going to try to block him behind that 15.
That was amazing. I watched him go down into turn 3 and 4 the lap before, run really high and create so much momentum and speed down the front straightaway. Put him in position to be able to make that move in 1 and 2, make that commitment on the top in 1 and 2, get the run off the second turn. Man, that thing's working good.
He's being stingy again. He won stage 1 and now out front with just 8 to go in stage 2. As we see, Tyler Reddick has brought the 8 to pit road.
Trying to dig out from that flat tire earlier, Rick. They came to pit road on green, lost the lap,
Denny
took the
Hamlin.
wave around.
Denny Hamlin had an issue in 1 and 2. Had to get out of the gas. Loses a spot to Brad Keselowski, 3rd place.
Hamlin's been close today, but it seems as though Harvick's a little better, Ryan Blaney a little better. Now Keselowski maybe surging ahead of him. Still a whole stage to go.
Denny Hamlin up there.
Oh, he almost got really loose. What a save. I mean, telling you, man, that was an incredible save to keep that car out of the fence.
But Steve, that's a product of just having that car loose enough to make lap time, isn't it? And then you're just right there on the edge, and when the back starts coming around, you just can't catch it.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's not a contest of comfort. These could all drive like Cadillacs if the if the crew chiefs wanted them to. It is a contest of speed. Well, unfortunately for the drivers, for these cars to go faster, we have to find speed. You have horsepower. Well, the best way to make the horsepower look good is to make the car go through the air easier. That means less downforce. That means less comfort for the drivers.
Man, this racetrack has really opened up. Guys using the apron all the way up to the 3rd groove. We're able to create momentum and pass. Loving what I'm seeing from this Michigan Speedway. This surface is starting to finally age. Here comes the 11 car with a little momentum. Brad's going to have to get out of the gas a little bit.
Way out of the gas is Keselowski, sideways, He hangs on to it. Denny Hamlin will go by for third.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Good race.
Awesome, we hear from Junior.
It's awesome if you're Hamlin.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this track has been, you know, sort of a single lane racetrack for so long, and I know what this place is capable of, and it's really starting to show it today.
Just saw Jimmy Johnson go by Chase Elliott, so he has taken over a spot. He goes up to 11th. Again, the lap's winding down. 5 to go in stage 2.
So Denny gets the run on the outside. The 2's a little bit out of the gas right now, but as soon as the 11 shows up on the quarter pounder, you see how loose it makes the 2 car. As soon as that car appears or is on that quarter panel, it takes all the side force off. It turns that 2 cars sideways. It's really a shock if you're inside that car controlling it.
It's a shock if I'm sitting on the pit
Yeah.
box watching it.
It's a shock.
Maybe not the
to be
same
watching
amount, but I would still be concerned.
And Brad's had some issues at the start of the race with the balance of that car. Now in the long run, he's probably going to want some more adjustments to improve as he's starting to lose another spot here to Eric Jones down into turn 3.
And Rick, we talked about the length of this race. We just completed lap 81. 75 to go. We're past halfway already. I mean, this thing is a sprint today.
It goes fast, and the speeds are high here as well. We saw guys catching the race car. We've seen Brad Keselowski do it, Denny Hamlin do it at well over 180 miles an hour. You see he's getting sideways.
So we saw the 8 of Tyler Reddick come to pit road. I thought it was because they needed fuel after taking the wave around. Well, here you go. This is the right rear tire off the 8. You see that it has worn to a point, Kelly, where finally it unravels. That has to be unnerving for the driver.
Well, I can imagine, in talking to these crew chiefs ahead of this race, there was kind of conflicting reports on how concerned they were about tire wear and with this tire, but I kept hearing left side tires, that left side tires were going to be the issue. So as you said, that one of Tyler Reddick that has clearly been worn, that is the right rear. Now I'm also hearing vibrations out of the 38 of John Hunter Nemechek. And Marty, I think a lot of these drivers, as the race goes on, noticing some vibrations, could be tire wear.
Yeah, Kelly, with 2 to go here in the stage, hoping it holds on. Alex Bowman, we showed you the left front from the first run for the 88 car. He radioed in about 10 laps ago. They have a vibration. So, Steve, you want your driver just to hang on here for 2 more laps, right? And hope that vibration doesn't turn into a tire that goes down.
Well, hang on, but I don't know what to tell my driver. They're running around here almost wide open. It's not like you can run slower as we see the final lap here. You know, so Rick, that tire looks odd, but what happens is it wears through, it finally catches the fabric, and it unrounds just like a spool of thread. That's why the tire looks that way. The reason I bring this up is because that was 50 laps for the 8 of Reddick, because he took the wave around. Remember, this final stage is over 70 laps. All of these cars are going to have to find a way to manage this tire wear.
Kevin Harvick dominant at Michigan International Speedway, and once again he looks to grab another stage. This will be stage 2 win for Kevin Harvick. Just 65 laps to go in this race, a sprint. Again, a doubleheader weekend. They'll race again tomorrow afternoon. But right now, it's trying to get the trophy on Saturday.
Again, Denny Hamlin makes that inside line work on this restart with help from his teammate. Eric Jones gave him a great push. Brad Keselowski was behind the 4 car, but now he is mired 3 wide in the middle back, losing lots of spots. Terrible.
Austin Dillon making it 3 wide. Look at this on the outside. Harvick trying to jump on the outside of the 11.
You got to push down the back straightaway. Eric Jones is wrecking in the middle of the corner.
Harvick's there. Harvick's at the outside. Brad's trying to get up on the outside of the 11 also. Now he's going to go to the bottom.
These restarts are awesome.
You get a run, you take it, right?
Yeah, buddy.
4 wide we saw there as Harvick has taken the lead back. Now Keselowski and Denny Hamlin fighting for that second spot. Keselowski in the 2, Denny Hamlin in the 11, and Ryan Blaney coming right back into the picture in that fluorescent yellow number 12.
1 lap ago, Brad Keselowski was in the middle of 3 wide, running about 8. Now he's in second, down into turn 3. Here's Eric Jones on the bottom of the racetrack getting loose, just checks the car a little bit. Good job saving that thing and giving room to those guys on the outside. We got a caution.
Caution's out. The 38 goes around. John Hunter Nemechek.
That's a shame. He had such a good run going earlier in the race.
Back up on the track here.
Was running in the top 15 in the first stage.
17, thank you.
That's some words for Chris Buescher there.
Yeah, already he's pointing the finger at Chris Buescher.
And he wasn't really saying thank you, I don't think.
I think there might have been sarcasm in that.
Man, that restart was wild.
It's only going to get wilder, too.
Well, we're on board with Truex right here. The reason I bring that up, look at these. Both these guys, these are the two that had flat tires all the way back in the first stage, and they just kept trying to shovel out from underneath it. Reddick in the 8, now back on the lead lap with tires and fuel, and the 19 of Truex will get the wave around.
There you go. You see Buescher on the bottom, just gets up the racetrack and gets into the left rear quarter panel of John Hunter. That's why John Hunter was not happy.
Bottom of 3, get off right here. Marching. Come on. Keep coming. Get on down
I
here.
think Buescher expected the 38 of John Hunter to get up the racetrack a little bit more on that exit, and he didn't, but that's John Hunter's, that's John Hunter's preference to run however he wants off the corner, and it came together, and 17 spun him off the nose. You see the damage right there. Pretty hard contact between those two guys.
Row 1, we saw it there, Harvick and Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Jones, Blaney back there in row 3. Back to green flag racing with just 58 laps to go here at Michigan. Steve still outside of a fuel window, or can they make it?
Still outside, 58 laps to go. We expect they can only go 48 up to 50. So drivers, this restart very important because you have to get that track position in case you have green flag stops.
Kyle Busch, very aggressive, got on the outside of the 12 of Blaney. That's put him in the middle of the corner, right in the middle of 3 wide. That's the Kyle Busch we're used to seeing. He jumped on the outside, made something happen. Now Blaney's trying to recover.
Clint Boyer, kind of a new player to the party right there in that black and yellow 14 right in front of Blaney. Jimmy Johnson right behind Blaney.
What it comes down to on these restarts is really the pusher in the second row. Brad Keselowski does a great job that time to help the 4 car of Harvick get that lead and get control, and himself in second place. They need to be connected right here, but they weren't. Brad was able to get back to the bumper and keep this 4 car out front because that inside line, they were tandem down the front straightaway. The 9 car of Chase Elliott in 11. Great work by Brad and the 4 car of Harvick on that restart. That's what's going to be important. We have more restarts getting down into this race. Who does a good job of pushing who?
That's something interesting, too, about this choose rule. As you see Eric Jones now in the middle, is that in the past you could pick where you wanted the guy in second to be based on your lane. Now you don't know, right? You only can control where you are. You can't control what the guy in second and third and fourth are going to do.
Man, and Chase Elliott filled a hole there that didn't look like there was a hole at all. Right in between the 95 and the 20.
Well, you mentioned the 95 and the 20. 2 cars in the news as the 20 goes up the racetrack. You see the 20 just below the cut line will announce Eric Jones won't be returning to Joe Gibbs Racing next year. The 95 that Christopher Bell drives has been announced. That car will be sold for next year. So we're starting to see some movement as the season wears on.
We know that the 48, driven by Jimmy Johnson, will be vacated at the end of the year. Could potentially Hendrick Motorsports go to a 3-car team? Is that possible?
There's been an online campaign to get Jimmy to run another year, and he's been pretty silent about it.
Blake Shelton, I think, started it.
Yeah. Look at this Christopher Bell, though, taking this 95 car, taking the fight to that 48. Having a great run today.
He wants to try to jump in behind Jimmy Johnson to keep Chase Elliott from jumping on the outside. Chase is going to take the bottom.
Yep.
Eric Jones going with him.
And that's a tough situation for both Chase and Eric. You take that bottom, it's not really the preferred line. Look at Eric down here on the inside of this 9 car. I can't say I got confidence he'll make that pass and probably will lose his position back to the 95 here off turn 2.
You mentioned that 48, though. That would be the driver I would be calling, Rick, because when you look at Eric Jones's numbers, while people may think they're disappointing with only a couple wins, if you compare him to Joey Logano, who drove at Gibbs as well, the car right behind him, he has a pretty impressive resume. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Joey Logano, but Joey's proved that you can find a home somewhere else and find success. Kelly.
Well, I talked to Jason Ratcliffe-Cucci for the 95 team about the news of the team being sold. He said everyone is really really taken the news pretty well, and team owner Bob Levine hasn't pulled the reins back on them at all. So their goals for this season remain unchanged. And when I asked him where they need to improve, he said it's really just on execution. He said, I feel like if we could finish where we've been running, we'd be in a much better position. So really, it's their racecraft they feel like is pretty strong, but a myriad of mishaps have kept them from getting the finishes they feel like they deserve.
You mentioned strong. These two Fords have been very strong. Again, that Heritage Trophy up for grabs for the manufacturers. Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet, and right now it's Ford that's looking strong.
Yeah, this is impressive. Brad Keselowski able to hang in here with Kevin Harvick. When this race started, Brad's car wasn't driving good at all. He was fading back. They've made some adjustments to help him on the short run. We'll see if he has anything on the long run as we get further into this.
Brad, a lot of confidence after last week. Kind of dominated that race. That's the first race they've just gone and taken control of. And now, sitting there putting pressure on Kevin Harvick, has to feel like his team has to feel like they're starting to get their feet underneath them. Remember, a brand new team, brand new group of people together this year. Marty.
Hey, Jeff, Brad Keselowski, obviously from Michigan. We've talked a lot about that and would love to win at this racetrack. Oh, caution.
Yeah, round again goes John Hunter Nemechek, and it is not the day that he was hoping for. Left rear tire is down. And so the caution has come out once again, 5th caution of the day. Kyle Busch, we'll see if the decision not to take tires is going to work out for the 18 as he's getting a little push there from teammate Eric Jones. They are going to clear the 4, at least the 18 will. Now the 4 of Kevin Harvick battling back on the inside.
Yeah, I'm real surprised by the lack of organization behind those guys. A lot of room between every car.
Look at the spots Kevin Harvick's going to lose by being on the bottom of the racetrack. Lost that momentum. We'll see if Martin Truex Jr. can carry that speed into turn 3. Harvick to the bottom. That is a power move, being able to make that. Kevin Harvick's car is incredible. Now battling for the lead.
Truex back there around the outside of his teammate. Eric Jones for 3rd has a run on this 4 car. He's going to push Harvick. Instead of going to the inside, Harvick's going to go to the inside.
For the lead, Kevin Harvick. One stage 1, one stage 2, and now back out front.
That's such a tough decision if you're Truex. You have the run.
Pretty much all day. Good judge.
You have the run. Do you take it? He pushed the 4 car up there and he took it.
Kyle Busch now without getting tires, is that why we're seeing the 4 able to get by him so easily?
I don't think so. I haven't seen tires been a huge advantage. We thought it was earlier with Blaney. I even was kind of on board with tires being better, but as we've seen this race play on, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this is just a good 4 car, but the question mark I have is we know what the 4 has, or we think we do. The 18 we also think we do. But the 3rd guy in line, Martin Truex Jr., has spent the majority of his day trying to get his lap back from a flat tire earlier. Here he is pressuring his teammate. Marty, I want to know how good this 19 car is.
I think everybody wants to know in the field how good that 19 car could be, because to your point, Steve, he's been in the back all day long. But up front, Kyle Busch just in front of him. And hey, Steve, if you're Adam Stevens as Truex saws on that wheel, you got to love that call right there to go fuel only for Kyle Busch. Listen, the team needs a shot in the arm. Kyle needs a little confidence, honestly, at this point, to be up front, lead a restart, now running 2nd with 43 to go. That's good stuff for Kyle Busch and the 18 team.
You know, you just got to keep firing, Rick. You can't stop trying to gamble. I know it would be easy for this 18 team to say, look, we don't have a win. We got to make sure we're in the playoffs. What I'm seeing by this pit call is, forget that. Like, we're a winning race team. We're not worried about points.
They're champions.
At some point, you have to convince yourself of that. And what I'm seeing here is a team that believes they are champions.
As we see Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Eric Jones. Joe Gibbs Racing trio up there. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Christopher Bell running 8th. And Denny Hamlin in the 10th position. Kelly.
Well, while everyone was wondering what kind of a car Martin Truex Jr. has, he came over to the radio to say he got a little bit loose there. I can also tell you that they've gone in a completely different direction in terms of the car they brought here versus their other 3 teammates. Crew chief James Small basically said, I kind of feel like we're the black sheep, but it's really set up for the feel that Martin is looking for out of the car and what they've been able to do with these tires at other racetracks. But he kind of said we could find out who's right or who's wrong. But then again, Steve, I guess there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, Kelly, you know, it's so easy to think that all of these guys go about it the same way and there's just a correct race car, but that's not the case. I think that's why you see certain organizations have a standout car. It was that way when I was at Hendrick Motorsports. I knew what Jimmy Johnson had. We tried it. It wouldn't work for Jeff Gordon. We needed different aerodynamic setups for Jeff to be successful. So what James Small is doing, I actually applaud. It takes a lot of courage for a first-year crew chief to come to an organization like Gibbs and say, you know what, I know Hamlin has won a lot, but Denny Hamlin's not my race car driver. Martin Truex Jr. is. Whether it works or not, I applaud the first-year guy. That's a tough call to make.
Is there a baseline that you can go off, though? I mean, a setup that you say, okay, what if we start here?
Well, actually, no. I think that it's a foundational package. You have to match the downforce with the mechanical grip. You know, yes, there may be a few foundational things, but there's probably way more different than the same. You see James on the left side of the screen. I'm going to tell you guys, we talked to a lot of people during the week. Is it not a blast to talk to James Small every week? He is just having a great time.
Martin.
Hey guys, how about Austin Dillon in the 6th spot right now? We're out there, obviously, with the playoff spot locked in. Justin Alexander making the call for fuel only. And they've run maybe better than they have at Michigan in quite a while. So Austin Dillon having a nice top 6 run. We're right on board with Brad Keselowski trying to get that 6th spot from Austin Dillon. And they would love to gain some more playoff points and move themselves into a better position once the playoffs begin here in about 4 weeks.
All right, want to listen into Keselowski's radio.
All right, right now with average mileage, our fortune is 0. Worst case, we're -1.
All right, so basically there you have it. Worst case, we're a lap short. Perfect case, we're dead on the number.
Yes, he just hasn't been the day William Byron and Chad Canals kind of hoped for. They've been running around the 10th position for a lot of the day, but right now sitting in the 15th spot. And as it sits right now, they will lose 7 points to Eric Jones, who's having a terrific day. So I'm just wondering what that bubble battle is like, drivers. You're watching the guys you know you're going to have to battle over the next few weeks, but Byron right now stands to lose about 7 points to Eric Jones.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. Steve mentioned wanting the Tums to decide whether to pit or not here in a little bit. Well, the driver's going to have to deal with that too. Every single race, every single lap. You know, if you don't make the playoffs, it is a disappointing season. There's just no way around that.
One of the things about running a doubleheader is the field will be inverted from the 20th position. So if you're running 20th right now at the end of the race, you start on the pole. So you've got to look at that right now. William Byron running 15th. And then back from him, Kurt Busch, Matt DiBenedetto, Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick back there. Was Cole Custer running in the 20th position.
Brad Keselowski trying to get around Chase Elliott down the front straightaway, side drafting both of these guys. You see Chase battling back on the outside for 5th position. Brad has to get out of gas a little bit right there.
Wow.
It's real flat. That bottom lane is really flat. Well, look at this mess. These guys, ever since the restart, it seems like have been in one big knot, and they've all been trading spots back and forth. One guy will lead, then he'll go all the way back, lose 4 or 5 spots. It's intense racing right here.
I'm a little surprised by a couple cars in this mix right here. I thought the 10 of Eric Almirola would have a better day. He's at the back, the last car in this pack. You know, hasn't really been a factor all day long, running outside the top 20.
9 top 10s in a row for Eric Almirola, and that right now is in jeopardy.
Well, Clint Boyer, we saw him back there. See him on the very bottom at the very back of the screen. He was running top 5, top 6 a little bit ago, early in the race, and now he's back here.
Matty D in the 21. I actually thought today was the day. We were looking through some of the numbers. 11 wins for the Wood brothers at Michigan with some huge names. They got our teammate Dale Jarrett, his first career win.
The first win here was by the Wood brothers.
Yeah, we got Pearson's gone victory lane with him. You know, some big names. I thought maybe Matty D could break through, get his first win, but just doesn't seem to have it yet.
They're searching for win number 100, the Wood brothers are.
On the other side of that, those were on board with Ryan Newman right here. Cars that are having really good days. I look at time and scoring. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running 12th. What a solid day. JTG has had such a rough go here lately.
Yeah, the last finish that we had at New Hampshire was a breath of fresh air for JTG Doherty, because they had finished last in the 4 previous races. One of their cars had finished last. They finally turned that around, and like you said, a better run today here at Michigan.
Look at this car on the very bottom of the racetrack. I believe that's Eric Hammer. I can't really tell. I've been watching. He is so loose. Look at the back of the car, jumping all around. That's why they're running back here. You know, they don't have that grip. What did Eric Amarello tell us the other day? That running back here is way more difficult than when your car is good and you're running in the front. It's so much more work.
Yeah, he said outside the top 10, it is most difficult he has as far as what he has to do as a driver. Kelly.
Eric Jones in that 20, losing a position potentially there. Chase Elliott, we talked about that playoff bubble. Well, coming into this race, Eric Jones was 31 points below the playoff cut line, and his crew chief, Chris Gale, told me he didn't really think there were enough races left for them to point their way into it. So he said he was going to get very aggressive and really start going for the win. So they were one of those cars that took fuel only on the last stop, and they've had a little conversation about what that means for the rest of this race. Have a listen.
Remember, we're going to race this smart. Stay in line unless we clear. I'm trying to get a gap here. I got you. I know what you're doing. Just letting you know. To let you know, we should be all good by 2 laps. The Fords are going to be real close to making it, so we don't want to give them any breathing room. If we can pressure them, we're going to do it.
Okay, so it sounds like they should be good to go on fuel, but I mentioned the points. Well, as they run right now, he's gone from 31 points below to just 7, so it'll be curious if moving forward that changes things for crew chief Chris Gale.
Tums, Steve, is that what you're looking for now with the caution, or is this pretty much cut and dried what you're going to do?
Oh, John Hunter needs to check his head up.
Yeah, it's been a
bad day.
terrible day.
So, well, no. So now the situation is I think this yellow will gain everybody what they're looking for fuel, because riding around slow, you save some fuel. We have not seen tires be worth a lot on speed. I mean, look on the left side of your screen. 2 tires, no tires. That's what's currently leading the race. All the guys with 4 tires are still at the bottom. The question is, can your tires make it? Can they make an entire fuel run? Because if you're out of gas, that means you stretch the Goodyear tires to their limit.
For the restart, Harvick on the outside, Chase Elliott on the inside. They fan out as they go into 1.
Brad Keselowski is about to turn that 9 car sideways. He's pushing him so hard.
Kyle Busch on the outside, making it 3 wide.
Momentum on the high side. Kevin Harvick is going to fall back to 3rd.
Look who's in the lead, Chase Elliott. And Brad Keselowski falling like a rock after helping the 9 car up to the front.
And how about Christopher Bell in the 95? He's running up here in the top 6.
I am shocked at Kevin Harvick, how he lost those spots through 1 and 2, but then's able to drive in 3 on the bottom and just clear them.
Chase Elliott only has the chance to lead this race because he had the chance to line up on the front row. Will it pay off with 17 to go?
And right now, Kevin Harvick, we've seen how good he is, but they're all lined up right behind him. So when he gets to Chase Elliott, if he can't clear him, then everybody will try to get on the outside of him and get around him. So now, while there's a gap, there's a great opportunity for Kevin Harvick to try to make this move.
And Jeff, we have seen Kevin Harvick dive down to the bottom of the racetrack and slide on by when he wants to pass someone, to take the lead. Will he do it again? Is that another move now that everybody's seen that Harvick's going to dive low to clear you?
We've seen him take the lead earlier in the race on the outside with runs from the outside. He dives up into this traction compound, full throttle. He's going to have an awesome run off the corner. He needs to be a little bit closer to be able to do something with it off turn 2. Here comes the run down the straightaway. He's going to have to go into turn 3. Try to take this high side. Oh, wow. Follows the 9 right into the corner. Doesn't have to lift.
He got tight, though. You saw the wheel. He had to put wheel in it. When he got that close, he had to really turn the car a lot.
Here he comes again, another run.
Oh, big run. Is he going to take it? Is he going to turn left right here? Decided not to.
I think he needs to be a little closer on corner exit to be able to have to take that run.
Well, I think he knows he has to be able to clear him, because just behind him are 2 other Toyotas. So if you get to the inside of the 9 and it doesn't work, they're going to get to the outside of you.
Absolutely, Steve. You know, if you pull out a line, it better work. Here you go.
He's right there.
Now, there's no risk to pull down in the middle of the corner with no pressure behind you. But a corner X entry, if you're going to not take the preferred line, which is the high line for these 2, you had better clear the 9 car.
Watch Kevin Harvick's eyes. See that look? He's trying to understand where Kyle Busch is. How far behind is Kyle Busch? That's helping him make a decision on when to make this move. He knows if he...
Oh, he's close.
Let's see right here. He'll have a big run down the back straightaway. He's going to glance in his mirror. Look, where's Kyle?
Caution comes out.
Here, Kevin, yellow's out.
Another restart, another choice to choose.
So there you have it. Chase Elliott picked the bottom, right? He had a choice. He picked the bottom. He took the lead, and the caution comes out. Now he can pick whatever lane he wants from the front. So that gamble that he made completely paid off.
Take a look for the reason.
Ryan Preece gets contact from the 8.
Just as we had mentioned, how JTG Jordy had been running so much better last week and this week. This happens for Ryan Preece.
So, Rick, normally I'm vocal about not throwing yellows when I don't believe they need to be. At a short track, you could continue way too fast to keep this under green. You have no idea what debris came off the 37. I know people aren't going to like that because there wasn't a car backwards, but I completely agree with NASCAR there because, you know, you can't have a flat tire at these sort of speeds. Richmond, I would be critical, right? That's something at Richmond I'd like to see stay green.
Chase Elliott on the outside as they come through the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 9 laps to go at Michigan.
All right, both lines are tandem, but the inside line's making some gains here down into turn 1. You know Kyle's going to commit in the throttle.
That Harvick jumping on the outside, Chase Elliott.
I'd be telling Denny if I was a spotter, look, clear behind the 9, clear behind the 9, get in that line. Now that 20's going to fill that spot.
How far will Denny Hamlin fall? And can Kyle Busch hold off Kevin Harvick? Harvick to the bottom of the racetrack for the lead.
This is where Harvick's been so strong on restarts. Turns 3 and 4.
Oh! Contact's made. The 18 up, almost into the wall. Harvick goes by.
Wow.
Top here, don't get fans in the mid. Outside 20.
You have to wonder how much damage is on the right front of Kevin Harvick's car. Chase it. I can promise you Kyle Busch is not happy right now, nor should he be.
Under 8 to go. Chase Elliott now chasing after the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And I see a little smoke back behind him, maybe tire smoke.
Yeah, on the Austin Dillon car. Here's the contact. I don't know if there was contact. If there wasn't, it was awful close.
You heard Kevin out of the gas.
Clear.
You're right. I'm not sure they did make contact.
The green car has a terrible left front tire rub.
Caution's out.
Big contact for the 41.
Yep, Cole Custer has hit the wall hard. The back of that car destroyed.
My goodness.
Take it to the garage.
Cole Custer already with a win this year. Got his first win at Kentucky in phenomenal fashion. Passing the veterans on the outside. A late restart. So he's locked into the playoffs. The only problem is he won't finish this race.
Replay for Cole. Oh, he's back here already, backed into the fence. Can't see. Looked like obviously the right rear tire was down. Don't know if that's what caused the spin. If there was contact on that restart, resulted in a flat right rear tire.
So now this 41 reminds me, remember, doubleheader. We got to race again tomorrow. Obviously, he's not going to be able to race that car. They'll go to a backup. But all this other beating and banging and the sheet metal crinkling, these are cars that have to be raced again. Although with 7 to go, I'm not sure any of the drivers care. I don't think I blame them.
All right, let's see if there was contact with the 4 and 18. Nope.
Nope, never touched.
Yeah. It don't take much, though, to upset the cars around, and that shows you fans at home that the air off these cars can really do some crazy things.
You heard Kevin Harvick out of the throttle. He's lifting, thinking they were going to hit.
Let's listen to Harvick.
Judge that 18 a little bit there. Barely touched him, but my fault. 4.
He thinks he might have touched him.
Well, that's how close they got. Like I said, you could hear him out of the throttle, but from those shots we have, there was not contact.
3 laps to go at Michigan.
A little bit of wheel spin on that 11 car. You see him shaking it back and forth, trying to get traction.
Bubba Wallace is pushing Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott's pushing Harvick.
Bubba to the middle. Bubba to the middle. Oh, that's an aggressive move and a good one.
3 wide for second. Here comes Bubba. But now the outside line is moving. Elliott being pushed by Blaney. And the freight train going by on the outside.
Look at Logano on the bottom. Man, you said it was a good move by Bubba. It's a good move to try to win the race. If he was able to clear him, it's going to hurt him in actually where he finished, but it was a race-winning move.
And around goes the 3. The 6 also involved. Austin Dillon, the caution comes out. There'll be another restart.
You said it, Jeff. It might not help with a 43 finish, but I can root for a guy that's willing to drive it through 3 wide for the win.
I was sitting there thinking that he was going to have to push that 11, and that was the only thing he could do.
The 95.
But when he had an opportunity to go to the middle, he took it. That's what you have to do.
There's the damage to the 6. Ryan Newman, we heard Austin Dillon reference the 95. I don't know if Christopher Bell was around him at the time. Austin Dillon was running in the 10th position. And so it looks like this one's going to end in overtime.
Let's take a look and see if we can tell what happened. Here we are right in front of us. I think that the 3, he's wrecking loose. He's trying to get control of his car. Oh, hard contact with Michael McDowell there. But he's trying to get control of his car. And 95's got to go. It's like, I can't lift anymore. Send him up out of the racetrack in that speedy drive.
You see the hand going for Brad Keselowski, hoping that Denny Hamlin will get going and give him a shove.
Really, nobody's locked up on the bumpers of those front 2.
Harvick side-drafted that 2 car, keep him slowed down. Keselowski trying to take the shortest way around there. Harvick's in the best shot right now. Best position for Harvick.
Bubba falling back, and here comes Harvick surging out. But then the side draft by Brad Keselowski pulls him back as they go into 3, side by side for the lead. Harvick's going to get a shove from the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Look at Truex on the outside, 3 wide.
Can he make it work? Coming back up to the white flag. Harvick surging ahead.
Truex with a big run down the front straightaway on Brad Keselowski.
Is Brad will go up? Nope, he doesn't have to. That's a great move by Truex.
Final lap. Jockeying for positions. 4, 5, 6. Harvick trying to hold off Brad Keselowski. Can Keselowski be the first ever Michigan-born driver to win here in Michigan? He won a week ago at New Hampshire. His 3rd win of the season. Now doing everything he can to catch up to the 4 of Harvick. Harvick has been dominant 2 of the last 3 races. He's going to make it 3 out of 4. Harvick's going to win again at Michigan.
And that'll do it. Good job, boys. Thank you. What a car.
Won stage 1, won stage 2, and won the race.
Chase Elliott
Good job on pit road,
shot at that
guys.
outside line on that restart, finishes 7th. Learned something today, might make a different choice tomorrow.
How about the company that Kevin Harvick has just joined? With that win, 54 wins. He is now tied with Lee Petty for 11th all-time winner, winningest driver in NASCAR.
Get over here and chat with Kevin. Boy, man, you made it look easy, but I know those last few restarts were not easy, Kevin. How much the process of deciding what lane to go in and all of that, and how tough were those restarts to win it?
Well, I kind of showed my hand there a little bit early when I passed the 9 on the outside, and I knew that's what I didn't need to happen to us. So a lot of restarts, you're relying on a push. The 9 was a good pusher. I just had to keep him from going by us. Just got to thank Busch Light Apple, everybody from Hunt Brothers and Mobile and Jimmy John's, Haas Automation, Ford. I know they love to win at Michigan. Roush Yates and everybody at Stewart Haas Racing for everything that they do. This is just was an awesome car to drive today.
When you have a dominant car like this and you have a race tomorrow in that car, I mean, is the confidence immediate, Kevin, saying, hey, we can go repeat this tomorrow?
Well, I think that the confidence is high when we come to Michigan anyway. It's a racetrack that's been really good to us and for whatever reason just fits our style of cars, everything that we do with our race cars at Stewart-Haas Racing. Rodney and these guys have given me great race cars at Michigan every time we've come. So just a really, really fast race car today.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.